What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Next Gen 720, and I am back with another video. I'm sorry if I may sound a little tone deaf. I got an ear infection in my left ear, and yeah, it sucks. It hurts like hell, like literally hurts. Um, anyway, on to today's video. Something different on my channel. You guys who didn't know me, rock out with me, know I'm boxing for many years. For many years, I'm a huge boxing fan. So tonight I'm going to talk about the Canelo Alvarez versus Miguel Cotto. From the onstart, there's no secret that Canelo was a much better and stronger fighter. Most Cotto fans was counted on Canelo's inexperience, his lack of big time fights and opposition, and most Canelo fans was counting on the age, on Canelo having the age and the youth factor and being a bigger and stronger fighter. So today, youth outbeat the old man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with you. Now you see why Miguel Cotto never fought Triple G. He's too little. He's not even a full-fledged junior middleweight. Cotto was a very little dude. He can just punch for his size. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like he saw an opportunity to snatch a title. That's why I guess at the end of the day. But the judges had the fight like 118 to 110. I didn't think it was that bad. I judged the fight 8 rounds to 5. I thought Cotto was boxing him beautifully. But what happened is, like I said, Canelo landed the bigger thunder. You know what I mean? Here it is. You had Cotto sticking and moving with the lightning, and you had Canelo coming forward with the thunder. You know what I mean? It makes any sense. Canelo landed the bigger punches tonight. That's all you can. You got to take your hat off to him. Like he hurt Miguel a couple of times with a couple hard body shots. Like I said, both fighters were warriors today. And Cotto was boxing beautifully. You know what I mean? He was moving, sticking and moving. But he couldn't land nothing hard enough to keep Canelo off his ass. You know what I mean? He couldn't land that big signature left hook to keep Canelo off his ass. And it was just like, if those you don't know, never boxed before. First of all, imagine going around in a circle on a mattress. It's not that spongy, but when you're tired, it's like you know what I mean? Like you're tired, you got that ring moving around. Like that canvas can wear your legs out, man. You got to be in tip-top shape. That's why you got to respect Floyd, man. You know, and what he was able to achieve. Now, and like I said, and I take nothing away from Cotto. He's a damn good fighter. But that's what sets Mayweather above them all. You know, and style makes fights. Now look at here, it as Cotto fought Mayweather, probably one of his hardest fights to date, and Cotto went in there and had a hard time with Canelo. And then when Mayweather fought Canelo, Mayweather smoked. I don't think Canelo won one round. You know what I mean? Like seriously. You know what I mean? But like I said, you had an onstart. You had Cotto out there boxing, jabbing. He couldn't land his, like if you don't know, Cotto was really a left hand. He's really left hand. He's not right hand, but he fights conventional way with his left hand in the front. And he couldn't land his signature, left hook in because Canelo, I call it holding the phone. He held the phone all night. You know what I mean? With his hand here. You know what I mean? That right hand never really left his, side of his face. You know what I mean? A couple of times, like I said, that's what they had an old saying: never hook with a hooker, never go out with a hooker. You couldn't win, but tonight you saw Canelo actually swinging his left hook with him, like let that left hook go, because he felt Miguel's power, and Miguel couldn't hurt him. You know what I mean? But like I said, at the end of the day, it only takes 2 pounds of punch. Hit a motherfucker around their chin so they don't see. I don't give a fuck how big you is. Gave him a lot, your ass is going to sleep. But anyway, like I said, at the end of the day, it was a damn good fight. They also had Ring It Down on the card. They give Ring It Down a hard time. Ring It Down has all the boxing ability in the world. I'm sorry, but he's just not a go for the kill type fighter. If he was a little bit of a mean spirit, Ring It Down with his, with his skill and his technique, man, he'd be a bad motor scooter. You know what I mean? He's more defensive than Mayweather, honestly. You know what I mean? Sometimes Mayweather sit there and walk your ass down. Ring It Down, that's not doing that. Ring It Down going to slip, move. And, you know what I mean, people want to see. So, but even with Pernell Whitaker was a very defensive win, but also Canelo had a mean streak. Canelo going to get the knockout, you know what I mean? That's, but don't get me wrong, Rigondeaux does have he has about, 16 fights, he do have about 10 knockouts, but over a lot, lesser opposition. But, when he's been on prime time, he's pitched a couple boos, a couple boos from the crowd, and, it is what it is, but I do think it's wrong the way they blackballed that man, you know what I mean? A motherfucker like Rigondeaux would do better in the UK and overseas because they appreciate the boxing better than they do here in America. We want to see guts, we want to see blood, we want to see gore, and when they cross in Europe, they appreciate the sweet science. You know what I mean? But back to Cotto Canelo, where do they go from here? I don't know if Canelo will fight Triple G. I don't know, but that's what talks because Miguel Cotto was stripped of his WBC belt because it said he didn't give. He said he didn't want to pay a $300,000 sanctioning fee to the WBC, which is a lot of money, $300,000. And the WBC wanted a yes or no. If you win, are you going to fight Triple G? And he wouldn't answer. Like no, I don't. Which is I can say like Miguel. I don't say he picked it right, but no one ever forced mandatories on Floyd. You know what I mean? When the Floyd became the A side, Floyd fought what he wanted for it. You know what I mean? And he's the money. He was the cash cow of the sport. But at the end of the day, though, but I would honestly, like I said, Triple G, it was too big for Cotto. It's too big for Canelo too. You know what I mean? You think Canelo's huge? You know what I mean? Really on some real shit, Triple G should be fighting at 68. You know what I mean? He probably just stays in shape all year long. And it doesn't. He has a great diet, but he's a motherfucking pack a punch, man. He hurt one of them little dudes, man. But I don't understand. He wanted to go down there and fight these little guys like Cotto and Canelo, but he was talking all that shit about fighting Chavez Jr. at 68. But why didn't he fight Andre Ward? You know what I mean? Like, come on, and they want. Let's talk about the bias shit here in boxing, man. They want Andre Ward to move up from 168, which he can make 168 easy, but they blackballed him. They want him to move to 168 to fight this perceived threat in the Crusher Kovalev. You know what I mean? Because they think he can beat Andre Ward and he'll knock everybody out. So they want Ward to move up to 175 and fight Kovalev, but they don't want Triple G to move to 168 to fight Ward. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not taking nothing away from Triple G. I know I'm all talking about different fighters in this video, but it all pertains to what I'm saying. And I'm not taking nothing away from Triple G, but he hasn't fought anyone. You know what I mean? I mean, someone that can, give him a challenge. You know what I mean? Like, you can say what you want about Floyd Mayweather. Out of his 20-year career, look who he done fought. Gennaro Hernandez, 19 years old. Smoke stopped him. Angel Manfredi, after he won the title, and Angel Manfredi was like #1 fighter in the world, just, stopped. Did he stop Gotti that year? No, he did stop Gotti, I think, in 11 because cuts. Just beat Gotti. This was Gotti was knocking anything out at 135. You know what I mean? Smoke, Manfredi. Diego Corrales, we know how Diego Corrales was at 130, 135. He was knocking everybody out. Beat him, stopped him convincingly. People said he didn't beat Castillo in the first fight. Came back, fought him again. It wasn't even close. Jesus Chavez, body snatcher, beat him. Floyd beat a lot of dudes, man. DeMarcus Chop Chop, Corley in his prime. Sean Bay Mitchell smoked him in his prime. Floyd beat a lot of fighters, man. But like I said, back to what I was saying, where do they go from here? Doors wide open for Canelo. Like I said, he could fight Triple G, or he can just stay. You know what? Because when you get to that level, it's not really about those belts. Don't let it fool you. It's about the money. You know what I mean? Or he can, like I said, he can stay at 54. I would like to see him fight like somebody like my man from Rhode Island, Boo Boo. You know what I mean? The ex-WBO champion, they stripped him for inactive. You know what I mean? You can fight him. I can't think of his real name right now, but you know what I'm talking about. For those fight fans, know what I'm talking about. Boo Boo from Rhode Island. His name sounds crazy as hell. Southpaw went to the Olympics in 2008. Hell is his name? Yeah, but anyway, he can fight one of the twins. The Charlo brothers, Charlo brothers. But I see the thing. The Charlo brothers are with Al Heyman, and I was asked to get off his high horse. Like, the Golden Boys did. Like, you know what I mean? Which I don't understand. The Golden Boy had the best shit going on when he was in bed with Al Heyman. Al Heyman left, he took all his fighters with him. You know what I mean? He also got upset at Richard Schaefer for making the Canelo and Laurel fight. He didn't think Canelo can beat Laurel, and I still don't think he beat Laurel. The Canelo and Laurel fight, you know what I mean? But hey, Oscar, you went at your company. Schaefer was running the company. He was in the rehab somewhere, and I ain't taking shots at Oscar, but he was in the rehab. You know what I mean? So, and Schaefer ran the company good. You know what I mean? The problem was the fighters that they would. This was what Oscar complaint was. He's busy building up Al Heyman's stable. Even though they were doing like these one fight deals with Golden Boy, none of them signed to Golden Boy. You know what I mean? They were all signed to, Al Heyman say, I'm gonna be your advisor and we can just work with, fight to fight with Golden Boy. And he was saying that Schaefer wasn't promoting Golden Boy fighters, but let's be real, Al Heyman got the talent. You can't, you know what I mean, and like I say, he's the best thing that happened to boxers. Boxers are getting what they're worth, and that's the problem. That's why Bob Arum and Oscar De La Hoya, those people are hating on Al Heyman because he's letting the boxers, which they taking all the risks, they should get the biggest rewards. They putting boxing back on free TV. Like boxing, used to be on 2, 4, 11 7 back in the day. You don't get that anymore, and you getting big name fights, pay-per-view fights on free TV. I mean, it's nothing. It's better for us, the consumer, man. But anyway. But like you got this whole Cold War thing, Golden Boy and Top Rank don't want to work with Al Heyman. That's why we got a lot of fights that can't happen. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like I said, if I was a fighter, should I get with Al Heyman too, man? It's all about the money. But like I said, for Canelo, the sky's the limit, man. HBO loves him. He has a big Mexican fan base. Even with Cotto sounds the Rock Nation. I don't know how Jay-Z and Al Heyman gets along. But, Cotto, like I said, Al Heyman got a couple fighters, that I don't think the Charlo, I don't think none of them could probably experience enough to beat Cotto, but it is what it is, man. I think Miguel got a 3-fight deal with Rock Nation, but like I said, we're gonna see. But to take my hat off to Canelo, damn good fight, and Cotto, keep your head up, man. But this is your boy Next Gen 720. I'm about to go lay down, man. I got these nasty ass. This little girl here be thugging me up late night with her daddy, man. But anyway, like I said, I'm about to lay down. I'm gonna take my medicine, man. Got these nasty excuse my French. I got these nasty eardrops. They so cold going in my ear too, man. And I got this nasty. They got some ibuprofen right here, but it's ibuprofen. I got some of these right. You know about these right here though. I got these little blue joints, little 30 milligrams oxycodones. I get because I've been shot 6 times.
So. I'm gonna take those.
Hey man, don't judge me. But anyway, this is your boy Next Gen 720. I'm about to take it down. I'm out of here. Bang bang.
Bang bang.
Damn.
Duh.
Who said that missing teeth? That missing tooth.